Hello and welcome to my channel. My channel is all about women's working lives, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are a woman working after 60 or you are returning to work during or after cancer treatment. If that speaks to you, you're in the right place. Today's interview is with Shanette, who owns Exquisite Day Spa in Oakville, Ontario. One of the things that came up for me when I was interviewing Shanette was the vast experience both in life and in her profession and her perpetual pursuit of personal improvement and professional improvement. So I thought to myself, why would we stop after 60? We have so much more to give and so much experience and expertise to exploit to make other people's lives better. Sometimes in our careers, we often felt that our skills were not well utilized. Well, now's the opportunity for us to really have a voice and say, we have skills and we have expertise that can help in so many ways. And we're enjoying our work. If you enjoyed the video today, please give us a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. So I'm going to ask Shanette to take it away. It's lovely to be in your gorgeous spa here. Thank you for inviting me here for this interview. Tell us about your business.
Well, it's a long story. I started when I got separated and divorced from my husband, separated. So I had a young daughter at a year and a half old, and I didn't have a job. So I wanted to do something that would be of interest, and I always wanted to be in the beauty industry ever since I was a kid. And so I got my nails done and I thought I could do this. So when we sold the house, I decided to take a course and start my business. And that's where it began, downtown Oakville. I was renting space from a hair salon, and it progressed from there. So for the first 5 years, I was just doing nails, and then I went to school part-time, nighttime for about 10 years to add on everything that I do. So I'm now an esthetician, medical esthetician.
Okay.
And I expanded over the years, from renting space in different hair salons. And then I went to on my own in the Notting Hill Gate Plaza on the second floor here in Oakville. It was always in Oakville. And I was there for 9 years, and then I decided to expand again and double in size and move to the main floor. That's where it was another 9 years. But we were raising my grandson for 8 years as well, and it was mostly me running around because I was in Oakville. I decided this is a bit much when he started school, that I should do from home.
Oh, okay.
And so then I designed the space here. And I transitioned my clients to here for about a year and a half, just to make sure that they like it here and whatever, before I did an asset sale at the spa there. And this is where I am. That's where I beautify people.
Wonderful. And we all want a little bit of that, right?
Yes. I think it's important for anybody. I mean, young people are really taking care of themselves, and they know the importance of it. But as we age, even more so, right? We live longer, we want to look better, people work longer, which is what this is all about, and people want to look good.
Yes.
It's important.
So that's actually a good segue. Now that you have the salon in your home, this video is about women who continue to work and have joy in their work after 60 plus. What is it that you would say is bringing you joy in working out of your home and still working in your profession?
Well, I have never lost the passion for my business, for my profession. I always want to expand. I always want to know what the trend is, what it's like, so that I can talk intelligently to my clients about it. I just thrive helping people You know, when the people are happy that their skin is glowing and they look better and feel better and send me emails or write a testimonial, I just thrive on that one. And I offer wellness products because that's what my interest is, obviously, for myself, and to introduce other people to it. And working from home really is just, I don't have the huge overhead, and the worst was to deal with staff.
Oh, okay.
The people come and work with you, they want to learn as much as they can and then move on. And so you're constantly training, there's always a turnover, and I just found it difficult, you know. And at home, well, I do everything on my own, but I also can set my hours. I work long hours, long days, but then when I need a day off, I will take a day off. I make time to see you.
Good.
So it's perfect.
Yeah. And for you, it is actually working with your clients. All that other stuff of handling, you know, staff and finances and things like that. With that out of the way, I would imagine that really frees you up to really do the work that you do well.
Well, yes, it does, but I also look after my website. We're working on a new website right now. So I have learned the marketing end as well. I do my books. I have a bookkeeper and an accountant, so they take care of that, which I always had. The drawback in a way is that I can't have staff here, for example, right? So it doesn't work. But I did have a doctor work with me. At the spa, I no longer did tattooing for eyebrows and cosmetic tattooing. So I was focusing on facials, and I do a lot of waxing and slimming body wraps, that kind of thing. And now it gives me time to still study a little more on the side, which is what I do. And I think that's helpful.
Now, I did pick up that you are a medical esthetician, correct? Which is different from perhaps other estheticians that we might go to, we might have services from. How is that different?
It is different in terms of the peels that I can do. I worked with a doctor who trained me. Also years ago, Dr. Brown, which is a famous cosmetic surgeon here in Oakville, he used to train estheticians how to do peels, and so it's really just going the next step to do a little extra. Or people that let's say work in real big medical spas, right, where a regular esthetician, let's say, quote, would do, you know, facials, basic facials or whatever,
manicures, pedicures.
Yeah, that's right. And now they have nail places, so a lot of people do perfect 10 do your nails, right, and feet. So brow places, for example, where people just specialize in this and that, where in my days it was very common that everybody learned. If you were an esthetician, you would learn as much as possible. I'm also makeup artist.
Oh, a makeup artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
For video, we need to look amazing, right?
Yeah, for video,
add
we need
a
to
little
look
more.
Yeah. I want to make the point that the medical esthetician part is actually, or the aesthetics, is what differentiates you from, you know, the plethora of nail salons and eyebrow salons and things like that. So your work is more about the skincare, correct?
Yes, that's what I specialize in.
That's what you specialize in, and that's your differentiator. So that's good. When you were a little girl, or when you were perhaps a teenager, was there anything that sort of stood out to you that would give you an idea of what your path was going to look like?
Oh, yes. I was doing eyebrows when I was about 12 years old. I was plucking everybody's eyebrows in my family and friends and, you know, schoolmates, and actually did a really, really good job. I had a real talent for hair and for looks. And I grew up in Austria. I was raised by my grandparents, and so we didn't have a TV, you know, so I would read magazines, and I would sit in front of the mirror and pretend, you know, that I was a hairdresser and I was a stylist and I was famous and I was dealing with the rich people, and I would make people beautiful, and I would learn how to do my own own eye makeup. The eyes alone would take me an hour because I only wear lipstick and eye makeup. So it was such a passion of mine, and I would cut my cousin's hair. And my aunt, one of my aunts was a beauty queen. Oh, she was so into looks, and I would always do her hair and do such an amazing job. But my grandparents were coming through 2 world wars, so my grandmother always was against hairdressing. Who would want to have the hair done when there's a world war? Well, who would need business when there's a world war? No, it didn't make sense, right? Anyway, she died when I was 16, and when I was 18, I came to Canada. I was born in Montreal. I came back here. I lived in Montreal for 5 years, and I started working with German-speaking people because I couldn't speak English. And someone helped me to get into this hair salon with these German-speaking people, so I could do perms and put rollers in and take the rollers out and whatever. And I loved it. But then I was working in a factory to get myself started here, basically, and they were all German-speaking Austrian people. And then I went back and forth to Europe, met my husband, brought him here. We got married there, brought him here, had a child, and was on maternity leave, right? So then we separated, and that's, like I said, then I started my nail business. It was always, I couldn't do hair because I didn't have anybody helping me with my daughter, looking after her, and so I thought, well, starting with nails and then improve and improve. It was really a huge struggle, and very, very stressful time in my life. But you know what, when people come in here and tell me their stories and whatever, it's I have compassion for the people because I've been there.
You've been there. Yeah. So compassion for you as a young woman. What would you say to that young woman now?
Never give up. Have faith and believe in yourself and educate yourself, and you can do it.
That definitely seems to be a theme in your life of professional development, educating yourself, always looking at how you can do better.
Yes.
Okay, which has brought you to this point here. You probably meet a lot of women who are still professionally active. However, they're reaching a point where they're questioning, or other people are presenting to them the opportunity to retire. How would you handle a conversation with a woman who would tell you that they are ready to retire?
What is your plan? And how do you want to spend your life? If you have enough money and you want to travel and whatever, I think, well, all the power to you. And if that's what you enjoy, that's great. Or, okay, do nothing for the first year, but then you'll be bored.
Yes.
I think that's really what it is. We live longer, we look younger, and why not be active? And why not add something like people would volunteer? And I think you need to give back to the community and keep yourself active. Like Hazel, you know, the mayor.
Hazel McCallion?
Yes.
Yeah, she's getting a free plug today.
Oh, she's amazing. She's such an inspiration. But they asked her at one point, you know, what is it that keeps you so sharp? And she said, you need to be social, get out there, you know, visit other people. Don't sit at home because you kind of start rotting away. Or I always feel when I hear people say, well, I'm 50 or 55, and no, I'm not going to learn about the computer because I don't need that. This is not for me. My mother-in-law is 85, and she's an artist. She paints, she sells her paintings, and she is so involved in her computer stuff, and you know, and that's what I look for. She comes here on her own in her car. She takes the 401, and I think I never want to stop. I never want to stop driving into Toronto and taking the highway, because lots and lots of women have this block or fear of driving on the highway. I'm only gonna take the side roads, and I think it's gonna stop you from being all you can be. And once you allow fear to get a hold of you. I think it's very hard to reverse this and get back
Yeah,
out.
it is. It is.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to share? Like you've shared some great things about like planning for retirement if that's what you want to do, but also about keep going because that's what keeps us engaged with other people. I would imagine you're engaged with people of all ages, so
Yeah.
you're able to learn what's going on with the younger generation. You have a great role model in your mother-in-law of 85.
Yes.
And so that is something that we want to be to young women as well, be a role model to let them know that age makes no difference as far as you achieving things that you want to achieve in your life. And I think that's an important message for us. Do you have another way of saying that to young women? Like, how would you?
Well, I think one of the things that what my grandfather always said to me, he always told me I was smart, and he always said, you never stop learning, because even at his age, you know, it was 80 when he passed away, he said, I will never stop learning. And I was raised with that, and I think it is important. We have to keep going because the technology doesn't stop.
That's right.
You know,
That's
everything evolves. We can't just simply not afford to stop. Or let's say going back to when people want to retire, and there are people that come out of the corporate world and go into the health and wellness business, or do something else like you do, this wonderful program helping people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need to keep going, or find something. When people, let's say, worked for 40 years and now they're on their own. Actually, it just happened recently. A client of mine came in, it was her last day of work, and I said, did you cry? And she said, yes. Now what I'm going to do with myself? Because
Yes.
you're out of your routine, going to work, seeing your friends and
Yes.
and the people you work with and the responsibilities, and now all of a sudden it's stopped.
It stopped. Yeah.
You know, so I don't think it does much for the self-esteem. Now you
Yeah.
need to find yourself, find something you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sports, going to the gym, keeping yourself active, going out to lunch with your friends, but maybe find something that you can start a business with. Or a lot of people do something to make money on the side. Doesn't need to be a huge business, but make money on the side that keeps you engaged with people and keep you going, right? I think it's good for the self-esteem.
Well, I think that's a great place to end our interview, and I want to thank you very much. And I'm sure the young women who are watching will be very thankful for the lessons that you've been able to put forward and encourage them, especially those young women in their 50s.
Listen to us.
Listen. Even in your 50s, have your horizons higher than just stopping work. And one of our colleagues talks about being passionate expert at something. And I'd like to acknowledge you because you are a passionate expert at the work that you do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming and doing this interview with me.
Yeah,
it's been a lovely time.
Yeah, I love it. And beautiful surroundings, nice fireplace, and everything's nice and bright, and there's nice things that say relax and renew as you go out the door. So
do what you love.
Do what you love. Exactly. Well, I've got goosebumps. So thank you very much, Shanette.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed the video today, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Check out the links below. And remember, take care of yourself, do what's best for you, and don't jeopardize what you have built for yourself.